because when talent meets talent, talent is no longer enough. We have to prepare these children, these youth athletes, about character development and competing. I'm talking about a healthy competition. You can go from B team to a 1-2 punch because maybe
Mm-hmm.
you got a 1-2 punch and not a B team player.
What's going on, everybody? It's Jay Smart from the Smart Play Podcast. We also have
Kawan, aka your local washed athlete, man, Mr. Sheck as well. Most of y'all know me as that, but right now we pushing the brand, your local washed athlete, and y'all hear more about that.
yo. To start off, that name is dope. Reason being, I feel like I'm a local washed athlete myself, so I really like the name, the brand, everything. I don't feel like you wash, but I like the name.
Listen, I try, but I can't do everything that the kids can do. And some days I have days where I feel like, yo, I could go back and really ball again. And then I'll be out there with the kids. I'm like, ain't no way I could do that. I think my mind will tell me I can do something that I know my body probably, I probably couldn't take a hit from one of these. Nah, I can handle a high school player. I ain't gonna do that. But I definitely don't have what I used to have. But now I'm still in that competitive mind state because you got to find ways to still compete, especially us after the game is over. Our bodies is going through so many different things. And, we gotta. I wanted to focus more on us competing more, getting active more, getting outdoors, and also taking control of our health. Meaning going to see the doctor regularly. Because as athletes, we taught to tough everything out, not go to see the trainers or you soft if you do this and that. But man, my life has changed drastically in the last 3 years. Like I've lost like a lot of function in my left side of my body, especially on the left side of my arm.
Hard hitter.
Half of my hand works right now on my left arm. I probably dropped like the easiest things. I've broken 6 phones in this past year because I could barely hold the phone with my left hand.
Wow,
So
that's crazy.
this is more about spreading awareness and the battles that we have after the game is over, and just kind of bringing that locker room to all of us because we still need it. Like I know I still need my teammates. I still need that locker room feeling because you ain't even know I probably was going through some of the things that I've been going through. And
At
it
all.
ain't about sympathy, but it's just about raising awareness. And I know if I need these things, there's other people who need these things.
Yeah, listen, I ain't know none of that, and we've known each other our whole lives. Literally, like our backgrounds are so similar. I was thinking about it on the drive here. Like we both grew up in Pleasantville, the South Side area of Pleasantville. We both played for the Jokers, and then the biggest thing is that I don't know if anybody ever told you publicly. It was told to me publicly because we played against them, Pleasantville High School, but I was looked at as a traitor because I went to a private school just as well as you did. I went to Holy Spirit, you went to St. Joe's, and it was looked at as a traitor because I didn't go to, the hometown school. But we really have similar backgrounds.
So I don't think I was looked at maybe not like a traitor. I actually feel like a lot of people probably understood it because my parents knew. Like at that time, I couldn't handle Pleasantville High School or any public high school at that time because I was already doing stuff. I was already like in the mix. I had already like I think in the 7th grade. Most people don't know this, but I failed every class in my 7th grade year. Not because I couldn't do the work, but because I was just like trying to take Atlantic City and Pleasantville, the mentality that I had. I was trying to take that at that time, and there's no offense to those cities because there's also great people in both of those cities and towns. But I took that mentality at that time that I'm tougher than everybody in Mays Landing and, all of that. And I was out there like showtiming and not focused at all. So when I finally locked back in, that was when I got to St. Joe's, when St. Joe's told me that they wasn't going to accept me. And then they put me on like a probationary period for all 4 years. If I would have gotten in trouble one time, they was kicking me out.
Oh, wow.
Like I had a meeting with my dad and the superintendent, the principal, and everybody my 8th grade year at St. Joe's. And they that's when they told me that you could come here, but you're gonna be on probation. And I didn't get no scholarship either because everything with my parents paid, they footed the whole bill. I didn't get any scholarship money.
Due to that circumstance of like being on
Yeah,
probation? Wow.
yeah.
With somebody with your stature and your athletic ability, that's crazy. Because I was thinking you on full ride at that school. Dang,
But honestly, I needed St. Joe's more than St. Joe's needed me. They
that's a
at
deep
that
statement.
time, what Coach Sacco instilled in me and continues to instill in me, we talk at least 3 days, probably 4 days out the week, me and Coach Sacco. That's like one of my
Wow.
That's like one of my best friends, or I don't even look at him like he's definitely not a peer. That's
He
like
a
a
legend. That's
second
what he
father to me
is.
in a different way. Like, you know what I mean? So for me, I knew that I needed him and I needed St. Joe's at that time more than St. Joe's needed me. And then those roles eventually flipped and we seen that. So I was fortunate enough to win a state title even as a coach at St. Joe's.
That's dope. I forgot you even coach. See, learning more. I forgot you even went back and coached there. That's
Oh
dope.
yeah. No, that
That's
was that
dope.
was like one of the best decisions I made was to go back and coach and tap into the game. And I wish I would have did that a lot earlier. I think that a lot of circumstances would have been different, but all of my experiences, I was able to go back and give those to the younger generation. So like I don't regret nothing.
Even with you saying that, I feel like that's one of, I don't regret anything. I'm not one person to say I regret something, but one thing I wish I would have done was tap into coaching early. Like right after I graduated college, went into it. My reason is your title, local washed athlete. I felt like I still had more to give and more to do, and I could play in some pickup games, and right then and there, I should have known, hang the cleats and put back into the youth, get back into the youth.
And they need that because it's not a lot of people that have the knowledge of the game that also care about the community. Like, let's start with that. The biggest thing is like you really care about the community. And that's one of the things that I really love about what you do. But also when I go back to like Coach Paul, that's Coach Paul, Coach Calvin, those guys, even
My
Coach
guys.
Les, like everybody taught me something different at different stages that I needed. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of, we want to talk about that post that was made a little bit. But that's kind of where that stuff stemmed from because with everybody playing their role, Coach Les was a 6U coach, 7U coach, right? Or a taxi coach back then. So he focused on developing what a 6 and 7-year-old needed. He wasn't a 6U coach trying to be Coach Coach Dave on a varsity level. That wasn't
Okay.
his role. That wasn't what the kids on a 6, 7U level needed. Coach Paul, he wasn't worried about making me no Division I player. That was the first person that helped me figure out what it meant to be a leader.
Mm.
They ain't got nothing to do with
Mm.
football.
Nothing at all.
That was me at 8 and 9. Nothing to do with football.
That's deep.
I got better at football with them, but my character is what they instilled at those levels. And then when I got to JV, we start doing more Coach Calvin. Now we getting into more football stuff. Now we getting into more. I'm at that time playing quarterback, and we relying on you. And that's also a time where, okay, I'm behind somebody. I gotta compete for this spot. I definitely want to make an impact on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm getting my opportunity. I might not start at quarterback, but cool, I'm gonna learn how to play linebacker. I'm gonna learn how to be more physical than somebody else. That's what I'm gonna
Listen.
do. It wasn't about being the best football player. It was, how can I be tougher than him? How can I impose my will on the person that's in front of me? And that's what the coaches pulled out of me because if I'd have went out there and they're like, you on a B team because we got a quarterback that's just older than you or a player that's older than you, but that's just how they felt. I could have stopped playing football back then. Imagine that. It ain't no South Carolina, ain't no degree. I got both of my degrees, my bachelor's and my master's from the University of South Carolina. But it started back then with
Mm-hmm.
people just continuing to believe in me and continuing to give me opportunity to showcase what I could do and get better at what I wasn't as good at.
That's deep. So we about to just jump into this. So this episode is the current state of youth athletics. What is your view on the current athletics? What you see going on right now? What is your view on that?
So right now, the state of youth athletics is actually taking a huge hit. We come from an era where it was over 60 kids per team. You dang near got to cut kids. Unfortunately, we had to cut kids. You had to really compete for your spot in the summertime, in those practices, and during the season. And now I'm seeing where you got maybe 15 kids. I know last year my brother coached a youth team that had 15 kids. I went to Pleasantville, and their 14U was suffering with about 15 kids possibly. And my suggestion was actually to combine both of those teams because one thing we need to start doing is learning how to work together, Pleasantville
Man,
and Atlantic City. And that would also stop a lot of the off the field stuff. That'll stop a lot of this drill rap that we seeing now start to seep into Atlantic County, and people, the young kids beefing with each other about senseless stuff. And then when y'all get down where y'all going, we're gonna be busting bags open together. Y'all gonna be eating together. Y'all gonna be all, so skip that and eat together on outside. And the
listen,
community can do
I've
that.
been pushing that. So my thing is, I coach in the Tri-County, so I see the different teams and everything, and them teams out the way, I feel like they are combining them towns to make that big team. Why aren't we doing that? And what I believe, I feel like it's ego involved. It's a lot of ego on who's going to be
Absolutely.
the coach. Like if you bring Atlantic City, Pleasantville, Mays Landing, who's the head coach? Oh, I want to be the head coach. I want to be the head. That title shouldn't even be that. Everybody's just on one level. I feel like a lot of egos stop that movement. That's my personal opinion for that.
I agree to that, and I don't know where the ego is at, but I do know that that's got to be, because what else could it be when you're watching programs, that historical programs that are on the verge of crumbling if somebody doesn't do something. Atlantic City and Pleasantville are not Egg Harbor Township, where Egg Harbor Township has had 14U teams in the same city because they just have that many people that live there. The population of that township is that big. So when we see that our numbers is getting slimmer, especially in Pleasantville, the culture is now different because of the demographic now. So you don't have a whole bunch of football players that necessarily live in Pleasantville. And then the numbers are just down in Atlantic City. I'm not exactly sure what's the root cause to that, because when you got, especially on the 14U level, you do have coaches that are and I'm saying that's the 14U level because that was just the level that had 15 guys or so.
Mm-hmm.
But also you looking at coaches out there that had college experience, that actually know the game. And at that level, they should be pouring into them and teaching them the game, the X's and O's at 14U. I don't know why you wouldn't want to sign up and go play for a former Coastal Carolina coach or a Sacred Heart University coach and so forth and so on. Like, you have people that were available to do that and teach your son that. So that's where I feel like we're dropping the ball when we're watching some of the most historical organizations, in a sense, look like it's in a state of emergency.
I can agree. It's bad. Like the number wise, like seeing it, like even what you said, when we was growing up, it was about 60 kids that will show up, knowing that it's only probably like 35 uniforms there. So everybody's fighting and working. Now it's like you pulling teeth just to get a kid to come out. And I had a conversation with somebody and they felt, and I want to see your input on this, was that flag has taken away kids wanting to do contact sport because now they can play the sport without having that actual contact.
I don't think flag has taken away. Flag don't make the numbers go down like that, I wouldn't say, because at the end of the day, football is still football. When those kids want to go to the NFL. Now, parents, when they see this contact sports and the impact that it could have on their youth children, well, then maybe I do agree with starting your kid in flag and then growing them to being able to be in the contact sport. However, I don't think that you substitute one for the other. I don't think that that's what's lacking in the sport. I don't think that that's what contributed to it. A lot of the flag is before the season, before the actual contact period.
Exactly.
And,
Flag is
and
during
then the numbers
spring.
are so high in the spring league. So we can't say that flag is doing that when the spring leagues are 60 kids per team.
And I'm glad you jumped into that. What is your thought on spring football? So I'm on the fence. I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm on the fence with it. Like, I agree with it because both of us being former college athletes, you play spring ball when you were in college. You got your season and you got spring ball. But I feel like as far as the youth go, these kids, I'll go 12 and under, maybe 12 and under should be doing another sport, track, wrestling, something else that can help them with their athleticism within football.
I'm going to say this. We talking about youth, so this is why I'm saying this. Do whatever it is that you can afford and that you can get to. And if because you need to be active. And don't say you can't afford anything, because shout out to Rock with AC Elite. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that everybody got their difference of opinions when it comes to the like you said, the spring league that we're talking about, and that's all around the world, not just AC Elite. Because I know a bunch of organizations, but I'm gonna shout out to him because he does such a great job with Sheck, and he does a great job with AC Elite. How
Great
what I
job.
feel about it,
I support Rock. I definitely
right?
support
So
Rock. My son played for AC Elite.
yeah, so I like it. I like it in a sense, but I also feel like the older that they get, as far as that 14U, 13, 14, then you need to really be starting to focus more on your off season. And if you're going to be doing anything football related wise, you need to be, as a 13, 14-year old, you should definitely be in track, basketball, baseball, whatever. Like you should be into things that put you in tougher situations. Stop doing what's easy to you. Football is easy to you. I'm sure that a lot of us could have played football
Mm-hmm.
year round. I'm not saying don't do the spring leagues, but for the 13, 14 guys, I feel like you should be focused on honing your skills and your game. Now, those on the younger levels, I agree with them playing different sports, but I also understand if you want to play the spring league, play the spring league. However, really take care of y'all bodies, because y'all gonna have y'all gonna have the same amount of games I probably finished with in my career on your body before you get to high school. So now that is an issue that you have to really look at and say, what's the worth in that? And are you really evaluating your son's body along the way? Are you feeding your son properly in order to be doing all of these sports and all of this? What is his nutrition like? What is his or her sleep schedule like to be doing everything that you're asking them to do? This output. Because that will tell if you're either counterworking the spring league, or if it's actually doing the correctness, like if it's doing its job.
I'm totally with you with that, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand that you can burn out a kid early. Like you just said, it's some kids that's going to go into high school with more games under their belt than you did your career. That's crazy, and it's true, because they're literally playing year round. But are they in the gym? Are they eating right? Are they getting the proper care for their body? Those is questions that need to be answered, and I feel like a lot of people don't have the answer for it, because they just looking at it as, we just gonna keep playing. We gonna keep playing.
Yeah. And another thing, outside to talk about the spring sports, not just spring football. I'm gonna include 707, everything, because I always include an educational piece in the work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Parents, y'all signing y'all kids up for a lot of these spring sports, y'all year round, summer sports, fall, whatever. Y'all signing y'all kids up for all of this stuff. They traveling across the world, especially when they with me, they traveling across the world.
Oh
They
yeah, you
living
be
like
out.
rock stars. We in the United States, especially in our urban areas, our youth are reading 3 grade levels below where they are. So when we start thinking about putting all this emphasis on these sports and spring sports, and we talk about nutrition and sleeping, are we talking about the education too? Because some of the kids are suffering academically as far as just basic reading, and that's triggering to me. So I'd like to look at everything full scope and make sure I'm not ever doing a disservice to the kid or any children out there. And for me, I think we got to start looking at everything before we just keep throwing them into all of these sports. And then some of them aren't doing with they're not on the level that we believe that they should be on. And if we can help that, let's help that before we get to spring sports. And you can't even travel with Shaq if your grades ain't right.
I like that. And what you just said goes to a quote I heard, and it even makes it make more sense, that players today, and you can let me know if you agree or disagree, players today are more athletic but lack the IQ than back when we played.
I think they're exposed to more, so they actually try direct moves and things like that. I think all of our moves came from recess. We didn't have the training that they have available to them now. I never had a trainer before until I got to high school, and my trainer was more so like in the weight room. So, excuse me. But now they're exposed to training, so they definitely are more athletic. They're doing some moves that like we don't even see at the college level. Like we haven't even seen some of the things that people are doing at the youth level now. I think that you could have predicted like JoJo was going to be elite athlete as a crusader. You know what I mean? So
Yo.
it's some of these guys that you can predict. It's some of these guys you definitely can predict.
So that goes on to the next thing. Has social media changed the culture of sports?
Oh, yes. Probably more so for the positive, even though we always say negative. So social media has now put the children, the youth, even coaches as well, you really like a handshake away from Georgia. Even though you in New Jersey, you a handshake away from Georgia, meaning you could tap into your phone and now you talking to the coach from this place, or you post a video and every coach in the world can see that video. That's how a lot of kids are getting recruited. When I was coming up, you had to actually get on these campuses. Coaches had to come up and come see. Yo, I sent my first highlight tape is a hard copy, a CD, and I had 1,000 of them. And I sent them to everybody in the mail to the football offices. The following year is when they adopted everything from Huddle.
Yo,
But my
if
freshman
I
year,
show somebody
that's tape was like that.
if I show somebody my highlight, that joint looked like it was made in the '60s, bro. Like the way that they got the way everything is now for them is just amazing. Like I love social media as far as the athletics goes. Like being able to post your highlights, being able to learn, see things,
Right.
interact. Like I
Connect.
feel like it works in their favor.
What I dislike though is the comparison, because it steals a lot of joy from the kids. You constantly, especially the older kids, is chasing the word offer. That word offer. Everybody's chasing the word offer. And
That word. Damn.
somebody gets something and a kid from a town over, or even parents now. Parents have become haters of children, unfortunately.
We're gonna tap into that.
But it's a real thing.
That's a real definitely
thing.
getting
Parents
into
have become the haters of children, and they're impacting their kid. They're turning their kid into a hater because of the conversations that y'all having around your kid about somebody receiving something that you don't even know how they got it. You don't know what they did. You don't know somebody you might be better than, but they saw something of a fit in him for their scheme. And sometimes you have to say, yeah, I might be a better corner than this 6'4" guy, but I'm 5'11", and Alabama might only recruit 6'2" and up. That's their prerogative. They're allowed to do that. That doesn't mean that he's better than you or vice versa. Run your race instead of comparing. A lot of these kids are spending way too much time on the internet comparing themselves instead of
thief of joy,
grinding as hard as you possibly can. So that way, it should be no reason. I told one of our players this year, I said, you keep celebrating on third down, right? You keep celebrating on third down when you get a PBU and you getting this and you getting that. And I get it because you're making a play. But can you tell me why you're not taking it as an insult that they keep trying you on third down? That means your tape ain't saying enough.
That's deep.
But you could tell me every offer somebody else got. You need to lock in on you, because when third down come around, you should kind of know it ain't coming this way because he know better.
I like that.
Because that's the approach that I had. I felt like when I came up, I wanted people to know better. Like kids now are focused on more so other people, and they're focused on the result more than they're focused on the work.
So would you say that youth sports now is more about branding than development due to social media?
We saying youth sports, not high school, right? Or
not we youth right now.
Okay, so youth sports, I think for the parents and coaches, sometimes it has become that. I don't think that. I think every parent is chasing their kid becoming possibly like the next baby Gronk or something, or just getting a early offer and things of that nature. So I do think that that's a thing, but I think it's more so negative, starting with the parents. And it is becoming a branding thing, like it is in a sense, because it's always, the camera is always rolling. We got, like I said, we have young coaches on an 8U level, 6U level, 9U level. That's, and for the South Jersey viewers, you can't be an 8U coach, a 6U coach, even a 9U coach or 10U coach, and trying to do the same things as the St. Augustine head coach. or
Mm.
as the Cedar Creek head coach and Lang City High School head coach. You have to be the youth coach for a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. And really, coach ain't really the title. You are really a teacher. Y'all are teachers at that level. You are a teacher. You are teaching this kid how to be a teammate, how to be a part of something, how to make a new friend, how many of these kids know how to problem solve? And I'm not talking about math problems. I'm saying, hey, if this happens, I should do this. Like to sit and think. How many of them know how to come together and solve the problem? Because that's what y'all are supposed to be instilling in them. That's a part of the job. That's a part of the task. And it's not really so much X's and O's at the 6, 7, 8, 9U level. Like a lot of that is character development. So I feel like when I was speaking on the word development, which I always say this, I'm gonna die on the hill of development.
Mm.
I'm gonna die on the hill of development. We got to get away from coaching the best athletes. We got to get away from I'm going to coach somebody who was going to score 3 touchdowns, whether he came to practice this week or not.
It happens a
Then you got
lot.
other kids just sitting off to the side. Y'all are babysitting those kids. Not saying you. It's not an attack
No,
on
no,
you.
no,
This
no.
is just speaking on coaches.
Mhm.
Period. So when you have a group of kids that's practicing, then you got a group of kids that's sitting off to the side on a half of knee, sitting on their helmets, whatever the case may be. It's not because the kid can't learn. This is you're leaving him to the side, and you're going to cause him to be disinterested. When we could have found a way to develop that kid in different ways. He might can't help you right now in September. Might can't help you in August. But with his confidence getting higher and he walking around proudly, they see the Joker patch on his hoodie when he in school, and then the running back that's getting 3 touchdowns a game, he making sure that player that's not that good, he's sitting at the lunch table with him. He on the team good. He feeling that vibe right there. So now he working harder in practice, right? So now October come around, somebody get hurt, you can put him out there. His confidence is higher. When your confidence is higher and you feel like you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself and you're not ostracized, you're not looking at the team like, yeah, they won. Like, yeah, they nice. Or like, as coaches, you got to we have to do a great job of including all of the players.
I
I
agree.
hope nobody should think that all of the players on Shaq is 5 stars, 4 stars. None of them. Everybody is not a Division I recruit. Everybody gets coached. Everybody gets developed. Everybody gets communication. Everybody gets hands-on attention and learning. Like,
It's
we got
important.
to get away from coaching the good kids. Or who you deem to be good kids. Or who, because sometimes it starts to look like who had a good last name. Because when you're telling me that kids is on the B team in July, what is somebody not allowed to get better? So somebody their parents paid for all that training, possibly is what I'm saying. Their parents might have paid for all that training. Or maybe the kid just matured in a year. He just saw it for himself. Everybody don't even have to go to training sometimes. Maybe he just matured. Why is he already ruled out in July because he wasn't that good last year?
Mm.
Maybe your coaching wasn't that good last year.
Some people don't look into the mirror.
We got
Some
to
people
stop
do.
putting good coaches. Yeah, we keep saying somebody's a good coach because of wins and losses. That's good. The record is good at the older levels. When we talk about youth sports, and I get it, I do want to win. Let me not say that. We do want to win. We definitely want to win. Everybody wants to win.
Trying to see
However,
what's going on.
we got to start doing a deeper dive in development at the youth level, outside of just the game, outside of the wins and the losses. Really develop the character of the young men.
Look like lost some connection.
On the side and said people, it was all right. We can get right back into it though. So, but what was the question about? Was it social media or?
Yeah, so you was just saying how people don't have 5-star, 4-star, 3 stars on, but everybody's getting that development.
Oh yeah. So from the development standpoint, it's like you gotta just be willing to coach everybody. We have to stop living in that world where we're just going to coach who we believe was good last year, or every year is going to be your first year is B, your second year is A, your first year B, your second year. Like we got to get away from that, because if that was the case, I would have never played in youth, I wouldn't have started as a freshman at St. Joe's. I took the spot of a 18-year-old. He was 18. He was 18. I took his spot, and after that happened, he ended up transferring out. And then it wasn't like we wasn't cool or anything, but he worked hard to get that, and we competed. I'm talking about them practices was hard as that, but we competed. And they allowed for me to compete. And I never even knew that I was going to be the starter. I didn't even know I was winning the job because practice was so damn hard, right? So I just got out there and started making plays when they put me out there, but I didn't know. You know what I mean? You have to allow these kids to compete. When somebody goes into something already knowing that it's not theirs, again, and we go back and just look at what would you accept as an adult? Like a lot of this stuff, as an adult, you wouldn't even accept. So why would a kid or parents of their children accept going out there for something that is possibly pre-picked because you don't want to necessarily coach? And I want to read something from the post. And I said that youth teams and coaches, how are their kids on B team this early in workouts without any pads, no scrimmages, and more? Are y'all going by the popular last names? And then sometimes y'all say kids are scared of competition. However, nobody can compete with pre-picked depth charts. This is the equivalent. Listen up. This is the equivalent to you as an adult applying for employment because the app was posted, but the company never had intentions on hiring you to begin with. Never had intentions on hiring you to begin with. Like if y'all was going to promote from
that
within,
one stuck out to me. That one definitely
you wouldn't
stood out
accept that
to
as an
me.
adult.
So my thing is, all right, so say for instance, you going through summer workouts with kids, right? And you see the skill set of each kid. Like you see a kid that, let's say we doing cone drills and they're hitting each cone, no extra steps, getting out of it. And then you see a kid, walking it. And you're coaching him up, you're showing him, you're giving him, but he's walking it. He's not really doing it right. He's not getting it. Would you have that kid that's doing it right and perfectly? And this kid, maybe that kid has some training or something like that, off-season training and everything. So he's kind of a little ahead of the curve. Would you have that kid ahead of the other kid already in your head, penciled in? Not markered in, but penciled in.
Yeah. I think that people are missing like when I'm saying this about coaching, we can't run from coaching. Everybody got a penciled roster, a penciled depth chart of who gonna go out there. We're gonna go with the person who might know what 23 blast was back then. I mean, I'm sure it's different plays now. I don't know. But I know that we would have went with who knew how to go 28 toss back then. First, before somebody that didn't know the offense or whatever from last year. He's just coming up from Pee Wee. I understand that. But when you get to that, you still have to coach them. So yeah, you got these guys that go out there first for now. They go out there first in terms of practice when we get the first group out there, but it's 2 groups, it's 3 groups, it's whatever the case may be. You got some people that's just like some coaches are not even having second groups, three groups.
Okay, now I got a better understanding. Now I got a better understanding, and I'm with you 1,000% with that. 1,000%.
So how can you develop something that he's not even practicing? These kids are not practicing. They probably do all of the laps. They probably do all of the stretching. When it's time to run plays, when it's time to do drills, you think they all doing it? Go out there to go check other levels. Go just move around at different youth leagues. Like I go to youth leagues all around the country, so to speak. So like I just went to another youth league in Georgia, not too last week. So I move around to try to see all of the state of youth. I'm a fan of the game. So I also don't stand by being a coach. I know when you people are doing a disservice. And I appreciate everybody that has time, but because you have time and you can dedicate that back, does not make you a good coach. You have to figure out what are you really good at in this space. Because your space might be to mentor. Somebody else's space might be to nurture. Some of these kids, y'all, they walking. Everybody don't even got food in the house. There is a food insecurity. Everybody's not eating how your kid is eating to be able to go out there and perform the same way. I'm sure you've learned this over your years of now coaching now, that everybody's at-home situation is completely different. It's very unique. So this output that you want the next 8-year-old to have compared to your 8-year-old, they don't even live the same, bro. It's so different. And we're not thinking of these things. I feel like we constantly just think about football. How fast is he?
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, oh, he just don't know it. What are you saying? He can't learn? That's running away from coaching.
And I like that.
It's running away from coaching.
Line,
and then
running
just
away
like
from
we
coaching.
saw years ago, a lot of people run away from coaching and they're hiding behind their most talented players.
Damn. That's a statement right there, because it's so true. And I feel like a lot of people gonna feel that on a personal level. Like,
oh yeah, it
dang.
holds true. You can move around and go see it for yourself. I had a kid, right? And this is the high school level, but I'm gonna say this. It was the high school level. I had a kid, and he could tell this story as well. He can confirm it, right? So I had just got to start coaching at this particular school, and we had spring practice. And this guy is, at the time when I first get there, I'm coaching the DBs, but I don't really know everybody yet. So now I'm getting to know them. So while we got spring ball down south, all of the college coaches lined up along the sideline. Some of them is like got iPad. I think University of North Carolina Tar Heels had their iPad out. They was recording everything, right? And we had this kid lined up, and he was supposed to cover all these different guys because he was the starter. He was our starter at the time, and he finished up being our starter. So going into it, I said he was our starter, but he finished the year as our starter. He's that for real. So, but let me just say this to you: all those coaches lined up, every receiver that we had did him dirty, cooked him. I'm talking about every receiver left that practice with scholarship offers. Over four receivers had offers because of what they did when they went up against him. Now, if I would have just said, he just ain't got it, it's over for him, right? I ain't going to even play him. I ain't going to start with none of these things. I'm not going to coach him. He just doesn't have it, right? Because I got this mindset, man, I was at the University of South Carolina. I know what this is supposed to look like, and he don't look like that, right? At that time, I would have did a disservice to the kid, and we would have all missed out on the true talent that he had. What this young man had that was different was he had lost his father at an early age. So he didn't always know how to communicate with men, and he didn't know how to take men communicating with him and how to accept it and how to take criticism at that time, because he his losing a parent, I can only imagine what it's like, but for him and not having the structure of the male, so everything is on defense mode when it comes to men. And now when you got men that want to give up on that because he might not did things the way you want to do it at that moment, but you have to take time to get to know these kids and figure out how to reach them. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to figure out how to reach them, figure out how to communicate with them, because everybody's not going to just be communicated with the same way the best player is. And I'm sure you had to figure out how to communicate with the best player. You just didn't mind doing it. You didn't mind figuring it out.
Yeah. And
you have to get to know these kids individually and give them what they need.
I had a kid.
And he also went on to earn multiple scholarship offers. That kid earned multiple scholarship offers and is now probably going to be, he's in the 2 deep right now at Wake Forest.
That's dope. I definitely had a kid who I would say was one of the best players. Granted, this is 6U level, so it's a little different, but I had to learn how to communicate with him. He didn't open up immediately, but when I learned how to communicate with him and talk to him and get down and talk to him, not talk at him, but talk with him, he was like this whole changed kid, smiling every day, happy to be there. Like, I feel like if I didn't take the time, he would just be there just to be there. And he wouldn't have really opened up his full potential. Like, I felt like me, like, really nurturing this kid made him want to run through a brick wall for me. Like, because he felt so comfortable and trusted and heard and wanted. Like, and that's the importance. Like,
and you
I
felt
feel
like you cared.
Yeah. And I did. Like, I truly cared about this kid. Like, and not even just that kid, all kids. Like, I treat all the kids the same. I bring them in, I let them know I love them at the end of practice, everything like that. But a lot stood out to me with him, with not being social with everyone, not running around with the kids after practice and things like that, not always talking, not always smiling, just there. And a lot of people looked at it as, oh, that's grit. Yeah, he ready. He a dog. Nah, he was dealing with things that nobody knew about and nobody talked about. But I took the time to get to know him and talk to him and kind of really reel him in, and then bring the parents in and reel them in, and got to really understand why this kid was that. He wasn't putting on a show to look like he was a dog. He had other things on his mind while he's at practice.
Yeah. Listen, I challenge all of the coaches at all levels, especially up to the high school level, right? I challenge all of the coaches on your roster. It takes about, and I had this conversation with a high school coach this past year of a 6A school in Georgia. So if a 6A school in Georgia can do this and can agree with this, I'm sure everybody else can. I challenge all the high school coaches to take 5 to 8 minutes to get to know a week, to get to know your each player individually by themselves a week. So like I said, I challenge every coach out there to take 5 to 8 minutes with all individual players on your roster and get to know them a week. Every week, get to know your players. Spend time with your players, the individuals, all of them. 8 minutes, an 8 minute conversation, a 5 to 8 minute conversation, not about the game, about them, about something that you do outside of sports. Don't just literally if you show all the players that you care, you're gonna get a whole different result. And we're gonna be talking about winning. There's gonna be a lot more winning going on.
Whole different. Like, I literally, and like I said, I'm just talking about the 6U level, but to see the change in my players, whereas though like they switched up completely. Like, I even had a kid on my team who was on the spectrum nonverbal, but he talked to me. It took about 3 weeks, but he started to talk to me. I told him, like, I wanted to tear up seeing it. Like, I'm like, he's talking to me now. And she was like, he must trust you. And that meant a lot to me. Like, for her to say, my child trusts you now, like, that's big. But this goes into getting the next joint.
And I bet you him trusting you didn't even mean you had to play him the whole game. Bet you that wasn't even an expectation. That you had to even start him. That wasn't even the expectation.
His mom didn't even bring him out to be a starter, be a football player for real. She wanted what comes with it on the outside, the structure, the friends, the companionship, the being around other kids, and the brotherhood. That's what the whole reason. But when he started to trust me and like doing as I said, I saw a whole different side of this kid. I'm like, oh, you can play some ball. Like, in the beginning, it was just quiet, bare minimum, did whatever. But he turned up. That trust, if a kid starts to trust you, you will unlock a whole different version of that kid.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly believe it. I've seen it. So I speak everything from experiences. So, and your experiences now is showing you the same thing. And it's going to continue to be that way. And I understand that some people would say, oh, you can't save them all or do this and do that. You can definitely put effort into getting to know your players. Because when you don't get to know your players and you don't go give effort, you can go down to Harbor Field's detention center and go see a football roster in there right now of a bunch of kids that was disinterested or probably put off to the side. And I'm not saying that coaches are responsible for why kids end up in juvenile facilities or make bad decisions outside of being around you. But if you're teaching decision making instead of X's and O's to the 8, 9, 10, 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old guy, then he's going to make better decisions when he's not around you. If you're teaching problem solving, he's going to be the one. If you're teaching leadership, he's going to be the one to lead the guys and say, nah, don't do that. We shouldn't do that.
Do you feel like in the state of youth sports right now, we're going to bring it back to youth sports, that the sole focus is on winning more than development now?
A lot of people think that, and some people don't understand that they go hand in hand. Like, so and some people are thinking that development is literally just developing football players. Some people think that development is just developing the football player. When somebody's speaking on development, oh, you're just talking about get this guy's footwork together. I'm not speaking on that. Because I know when you get the guy's character together, the football player that you're going to get, because he's going to buy into everything else you tell him to do. If you tell him to sprint as fast as possible doing them 110s, I bet you he give you everything he got on them 110s. But if you don't get to know him and you ain't worried about nothing but winning, a lot of kids, everybody ain't going to be touching the line. Everybody's foot ain't going to be behind the line. Everybody.
Nah, that's facts. Hold on. This joint it look like it's about
Maybe
to
your
kick us
starters
again.
will, though. And I know that's cool, as long as you got 11, right?
Hold on. Let me see this.
Well,
What it was. So I'm on the same page with you. I definitely feel like they go hand in hand. They definitely go hand in hand. But I feel like sometimes a lot of people lose focus on the development and more on just the winning. Like, and that goes with what you said in the beginning of those kids on the sideline that's picking at grass, sitting on their helmets, twiddling its fingers and toes, because I know I'm going to win with this 11. So I'm going to focus on this 11 that's going to make me win. And I'm going to holler at y'all a little later. Let me focus on installing these few plays for this game this week. And after I get that and I feel like everybody got this, all right, let's go. Everybody come on, let's do that. Like, that's where I feel like it gets a little lost.
And you should be installing plays this week, but you should be doing an install with everybody.
And literally, yesterday was our first practice, official practice. Like, we've been doing workouts, training, conditioning, but the word practice was allowed to be used yesterday. And we had our first practice, and I just put in 2 plays, 6-shoot, two easy little plays or whatever. But I did it in groups. Like, okay, look, you guys do it 5 times. Boom. Next group, let's go. 5 times. Next group, let's go 5 times. And then after that, now we mixing it, because you never know who's going to be next man up. Right. So I want you to know how to play with him. I want you to know which way I need everybody to know everything.
And now they all know how to get in the huddle, because you got 4 huddles out there. So everybody know where they should be at in the huddle. The center know he should be leaned over. Everybody knows that. Not the first center, but the third center knows that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now you look like you having practice. Some people look like they're literally having an open workout. That's a problem. That's literally a problem, because everybody was participating in practices, man. Like, we can't get away from that. Could you imagine walking into your son's classroom and his teacher is only teaching 11 of them, and then he's a part of the group that's on the others that's just doing what he want to do. They not worried about him, and she said, I just had to worry about the people that was focused. These are my star students. These are our blue ribbon students. So we have to focus on our blue ribbon. They keep us getting that accreditation.
Yeah, that would be an issue.
Parents would be losing their mind. Y'all be calling Linda Cohen and everybody else. Like, so there's no way that we can sit and act like it's cool when parents is paying to be a part of these organizations. And we're talking about practice. I need to keep making sure that I reiterate that we've been talking about practice. We're talking about development and practice. Development and practice does not mean that you're going to play or start. It doesn't mean, and I do believe at the 6U level, everybody should be playing. And I don't think that nobody is here.
I believe, like, and I parent meeting in the beginning, I let everybody know your kid's going to get in the game. Is your kid going to get the same amount of time as one other kid? Possibly not. But your kid's going to be able to get in the game because they earned time to get in the game, because they came to practice every week and they worked. They didn't work. That's like going to work every day and you don't get a paycheck. Like, they came and worked. They're gonna play, but somebody might be ahead of them. But best believe they're gonna get into that rotation. They're gonna get in the game some way, somehow. They're gonna make their way into that game.
Now, for you older kids, y'all gonna earn that paycheck. Now, let me say that. Y'all gonna earn the paycheck. Y'all have to
Oh,
actually produce. It has to be some production. There, it has to show. It
yeah,
has to
because
show for your older
at
guys.
this age, you still want to make it fun. My
Right. I still
goal,
want you to fall in love with the game.
you you took the words right out of my mouth. I don't want no kid to not love the game anymore. I don't want no kid to say I hate football and I'm the reason for it because I didn't make you feel involved. So I want to make every kid feel involved so that they can get to the next 8U level. And then it's up to those coaches to make sure that they keep that going on and going on. And then by the time you at 10U, you know whether you love or don't love the game. You know by now. Because back when we was growing up, that was what? JV?
JV. That was
We knew
JV.
then.
For
We
those
knew
for
then.
those that play, for those that not play like get in the game, but for those that actually, because you got some people that don't sign up till later. That's why I'm saying that. But
Yeah.
for those that play, you do know by then because football is a commitment. It gets so hard. You out there when in the heat, like you got a lot
Pushing
of
sleds.
character development going on out there. It ain't no. A lot of these fields don't have no shade. It's nowhere to run to. Some of these fields feel like they got domes over them. They don't rain at the time. So you do know if you love this by now, right? But it's up to the coaches have to develop and grow that love for the game and that love for being a teammate. Because if you don't grow that at the 6, 7, and 8, and 9U level, you're you're actually developing a selfish kid who will never ever want to be a part of anything team wise. And that ain't on that probably might not even be on the parent. Like everybody would like to say, I know a lot of things start at home, but some of y'all are counter working that the parent is doing sometimes. And
Speaking
because they live
on
in your
start at
district,
home.
they got to play for you.
Speaking on you saying it starts at home, do you believe that a child should be practicing just as much at home as they should be? Do you think practice is enough? Should their parents be instilling things with them at home just as much as the coach is at practice?
Well, practice isn't training. So when you get home, you should be doing more focus based things.
Mm-hmm.
As a 6, 7, 8-year old, I don't think that they should. I think they should be outside, running around, getting their exercise that way, doing all types of stuff. We was going from, you got people back in the day was going from the north side to the south side. We was going from Adams Court to Uptown. We are everywhere. So it's like you got different stuff where that develops an athlete as well at those and that youth stage by just being in the community, moving around. The only reason we be suggesting training is because we're in 2026 and when you open your phone, it's so easy to just keep seeing training. So we
Nonstop.
drilling this down to parents and everybody. And, oh, it's your fault that your kid's not that good. Bro, you never trained before when you was at 6, when you was 8 years old, when you was 9 years, 10 years. You never had a trainer, bro.
We definitely I ain't had
And
no
back
trainer
then, you
at
was
all
always
in
one of the
Jokers.
tallest. You was one of the tallest back then. So imagine if you did have a trainer. I'll give you one better. Me man was always 6'2". So imagine if he had a trainer back then.
Yeah.
You got look at Bilal Salam. No trainer.
Imagine.
Day, the oldest one, Day. Imagine him with a trainer. These is natural raw athletes. This is no training. This is people that were just living their daily life outside as youth. We walked to practice. We rode bikes to practice.
I was about to say,
we broke down $10 amongst each other. Everybody put up $3 to go in the store. Why? Because we learned we were like brothers, family, just a part of a full organization. No matter if you was from this side or that side, when we got to that practice and we got to the games, that's bro. We it wasn't none of that because the coaches instilled that in us. They developed that in us. It got to a point sometimes you didn't even know if somebody lived on this side of that. So you didn't even worry about it.
You didn't think of that kind of stuff. You never thought of that. Like that was your brother. When them helmets came on, that was your brother. But I really wanted to backtrack to something we said earlier, and I said I was going to get to it. The parents being the haters. Do you feel like parents are ruining youth sports?
They are definitely affecting it. I wouldn't say they're ruining it because those are the ones that are supporting it and paying for it, getting their kids to where they got to be because youth sports is way more expensive now. I've never seen sports is so high. I think NJ.com just said the average parent is paying about $33,000 or something like that for sports throughout the year. Like, you still got jobs that's hiring a salary of $35,000. So if a parent is paying in New Jersey $33,000 for youth sports throughout the year, whether that, all year long, you're doing different things.
Yeah.
So I won't take and say that they're ruining it. What I will say is they are affecting it in some bad ways when you are out there constantly comparing your kid to somebody else's kid, or you online. Some of y'all are posting for y'all kid, acting like y'all's are the kid. Some of y'all are looking at what somebody else has going on, their offer situation, and then my son better than him. Is this, that, and whole time you bringing bad energy to your kid now.
Yeah.
And then when people start hearing it, people start pulling their kid away from your kid. Some organizations stop wanting you in their organizations. And the problem with that is your kid didn't even do nothing. Your kid might got 10 best friends on this team, but you're ruining it for him or her.
Literally, parents be putting targets on their kids' back that they didn't ask for. You going on hating on all these other kids, and it gets back because that parent's going to tell that kid, like, yeah, so-and-so mom said this about you under a post on Facebook. And now that kid feels some way about your kid, but your kid had nothing to do with it. So now they see each other on the field, and that kid trying to rock his head off on the field simply because you put that target on that kid's back because of your hate towards what it sounds so crazy, a kid. Like, parents literally hate on kids because of everything you just said. Like, because this kid got offers and you feel as though not it might not even be factual. You feel as though your kid is better. But like you went back earlier, is your kid putting it in that work in the classroom?
And it might not just be his time yet. It might not be your kid's time yet. Some of y'all have to understand, it might not be your time. And I'm going to tell you this, you rather get it later than get it too early. Know what to do with it. Some of us as adults, people don't got the money that they feel like they work for or should have, because if you did have, you don't even know what to do with it. So if your kid, and then this is the thing, this is what their coach going to call you and say. So for all y'all who've never had an offer before, whatever the case, this is what they say. Hey, what's going on, man? We love what we see from you. We just let you know, like, man, we offering you. You definitely got an offer here to the University of your local washed athlete. That's what they say to you, right? And then you get to go online and post, all glory to God, got an offer, whatever, right? Alhamdulillah, just got an offer from such and such. Cool, that's great and all, right? But that's all you got out of it. That's all that happens when you get the offer. The real time is when that paperwork come through, when they start coming out in the mail. So you need to be just grinding, because I seen people get offers and then lose it. Because they're not producing. You have to continue to produce. You have to continue to perform. You have to continue to do the work like you don't have it.
So they get too comfortable when they get it too early. So that's what you're saying. It's better to get it a little later.
But sometimes the parents is causing that. The parents is aiding that. So I've seen parents started to feel like they got it like that. Now that they got, my son did that. Like, you know what I mean? And instead of like just holding firm to patience and working hard and trusting what got you here, now we in a situation where our kids is getting a big head instead of just grinding and going your hardest to compete and win with your team, get better every day. And that's another thing I want to talk about, the competing thing too. When we spoke about if you're only going to coach those 11 that's going to start, you'll do a disservice to that starter that has always had, because he got a great last name or because it's always his turn, like his year or whatever the case may be. So he feels when he gets to high school, it's supposed to be that way. He doesn't know how to compete. He only knows how to be good because he's always been good, but he's never competed. So now, let's say Coach Glover at Pleasantville, or Coach Keenan at Atlantic City, or Coach Lamar at South Gwinnett, and the list goes on, right? Or even Bill Bell at St. Aug. If those guys get your player who's always been good, because every time they see him, he's always good. They get him and find out, damn, this kid ain't no competitor. He thought we was just bringing just him. He didn't know I was bringing the kid here from Camden. He also the kid from Sicklerville that plays the same position as him. He didn't know that I was bringing the kid from Atlanta, because kids is moving now.
moving from everywhere to
So
play.
now he can't perform because the situation is no longer comfortable. Because when talent meets talent, talent is no longer enough.
Mm.
When talent meets talent, talent is no longer enough.
One more time. One more time. One
When
more time.
talent meets talent, talent is no longer enough.
Y'all gotta understand that. You have to understand that.
Like this is we have to prepare these children, these youth athletes about character development and competing. You can, and I'm talking about healthy competition and practice. I'm talking about a healthy competition. You can go from B team to a 1-2 punch. Because maybe
Mm-hmm.
you got a 1-2 punch and not a B team player. Or how can we say, how can a kid earn a position or a job, right? Where you be like, yo, yeah, he good and all, but he ain't do it versus nobody. All right, well, that's because you got him on B team. Okay, so can I do it versus the A team? No, I'm not allowed to get in practice. I'm not allowed to. So now it's like you making sure he don't play. You making sure he don't get an opportunity to even showcase what he can do because you keep moving the goalpost. He can only showcase what he can do versus what's on his schedule. His schedule happens to be the B team because you put him here.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I hear these conversations so often, so I was like, it's crazy because it's the truth. It's literally the truth. Like that's what you see. Like so many people say, well, he ain't do it against this. He ain't do it. Put him up against him. Let him prove his point.
We seen guys year after year, and then people wanted them back. I don't know if you remember when Muji was like they really didn't want to give him an opportunity where he was playing at, I believe at that time, and then he came to the Ville and was a star quarterback out there, and then they wanted
My
him
eighth
right
grade year.
back because all of a sudden he got the show, which y'all wouldn't allow him to show.
My eighth grade year, he came. My eighth grade year of Jokers, he came over and was our quarterback.
So it's like, come on, you can't have it your way every time. Like it comes with some hard days, some hard work, and instilling what has to be instilled in these young men. All of them do not have fathers at home to do the things that you feel that they should know already. Right? It's development at all stages. Everybody needs something different. But when you take on this role and say this is what you want to do, this is what comes with it. You have to wear the many hats. And the only day you're probably a coach is on Saturday, to be honest.
That's deep right there. That statement was deep. Because when you really look into it, yeah, you're doing so
Bro,
much other stuff during the week.
you're a tutor, you're a mentor, you're a second father. Your wife is probably the nurturer to a lot of those kids on the team. You know, you're many things outside of a coach. You are uncle to a lot of them out there in the community.
Yo, so many of the kids call me their uncle. It'd be cracking me up.
And so like now you start to realize like, yo, I used to do this when I was a young boy. Like now I know
Fact.
like this is when you like, damn, I must have really trusted such and such because I look at him like my own, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
to this day, bro, I'm telling you, like youth coaches, y'all are so important, bro. You're more important than you know because I would have never made it to where I made it to without my youth coaches. Shout out to Coach Paul. Even now when I was just with Coach Paul out in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, and took a picture and everything. Why? Because I make sure I see these people whenever I'm in close proximity to them because this is my family. Without them, I ain't the person y'all saw later in life.
Listen,
Coach Calvin, I reach back to him because I don't
was
put
about to get into
everybody in
Coach
check.
Calvin.
Listen, I don't put everybody around kids. People be like, oh, why you don't have multiple teams, youth teams, and all that? Because I don't trust everybody. We stay out of the state. I can't trust everybody around these kids. I'm responsible for them. But I knew that I could trust Coach Calvin. I ain't go back to my college coaches. I ain't go back to my high school. I went to my youth coaches and said, Coach Calvin, I need help. I need you to help me with this youth group right here.
Dude,
He came on a
I
roll
model my
with Coach
game.
Tim too. Coach
I
Ma
model my coaching.
always with me. That's my brother.
That's
Everybody
my
know
guy.
that.
That's
But
my guy.
I just want to reach back and talk about my coaches from my youth. Is Coach Calvin would step right up 15 plus years later and like, yo, yeah, I'm doing this for like, you know what I mean? So paying it forward.
Yo, people, because a lot of people always say to me, like, I have an old school style of coaching. Like, I'm not into like this new wave or new style. And I credit Coach Calvin. Like, Coach Calvin was that person that I said, I want to be a coach. If I don't make it to the NFL, I want to be a coach because of Coach Calvin, because of the way he coached, because of the way he nurtured. Like, when I was during my time playing, my dad was incarcerated. So Coach Calvin knew him. He played football with my dad. He knew this. So he made sure, one, I stayed on the right track. I never lost focus. I never tried to walk in to my dad's shoes. He made sure I created my own path. He stayed on top of me through school, through everything. Like, he was on me. He disciplined me if I needed it. And, oh, you can't play in this game. But you're going to sit in the stands. If I get in trouble in school, yeah, you're going to sit in the stands and watch us play. Stuff like that built character for me. Like, yo.
Who you say you talking about? Who you say you talking
Coach
about?
Calvin.
Oh, you called him coach? I'm only asking because I ain't hear you say nothing about coaching. I ain't heard nothing about football, none of that. I heard a bunch of character development. I heard a bunch of raising a young man. I heard a bunch of instilling good characteristics and traits and things like that in a young man who needed it.
It needed it bad. I
ain't hear not one coaching point. I ain't hear nothing about twins. I didn't hear none of that. I didn't hear nothing about 40-yard passes that you called touchdown. I ain't hear none of that. Because now at 34 years old, all you can speak about is how he helped develop and nurture your character. That's more powerful than any play he could have drawn up for you.
Listen, that Jones, it was crazy. And another thing, it's off topic but on topic, because he had kids that played, but he never separated. It never was his son and then the rest of the team. So what's your take on like that? The coaches coaching and their kids playing. In other words, daddy ball.
I'm glad you brought that up. I won't comment on the daddy ball part first. I'm gonna comment on just coaches coaching their kid. I do believe coaches should be able to coach their kid, especially up to about like the 9U level. I think after that, you need to hand your kid over to somebody else. They need to hear a different voice. They need to know how to take discipline and criticism. He needs to know how to take real coaching, mentorship, nurturing from someone else. If they've only heard your voice, right, you're going to run into that same problem that I kind of ran into a little bit when I said, hey, this kid he ain't taking nothing from no other man. And then you'll hear statements from dads like this. Oh, that's because I'm not out there. Oh, that's because I ain't there yet. Or, oh, he got to see me so he can play good or whatever. Like, what?
Yo,
if your son is a football player or if your child, male, female, is whatever athlete they want to be, they need to be coached by other than just you. At some point, you got to get them to a level where you can now hand them over because they need to hear another voice pull the best out of them.
You can't
just get them around. Get them around coaches you trust. You've been around the game. You should have been moving around to see what's going on. You don't need to be holding their hand the entire time because it's hard to separate your feelings when it's time. I'm just, hey, everybody wants their kid to be the bull.
So do you agree with moving around? So say, for instance, your kid was comfortable under a coach on a certain level, but you're not so comfortable with that coach for the next level. So you take your kid somewhere else, but then that next time they got to go to another level the next year. After 2 years, should they move again? Like, what do you think about moving a kid around?
I agree with moving a kid if there's a lot of benefits to it and your kid is ready for said move and challenges. Outside of that, I'm more community based. I want you to play in your communities. I want you to play where you've been at. I also want you to go through some adversity. Adversity will introduce a man to himself. So you only want to leave because this coach is probably not as on the same page with your idea for your kid at that time, right? Mm-hmm. If your kid, I'll tell every kid, you got to be undeniable. If you undeniable, you could play anywhere. If you that talented, if you willing to work that hard, if you going that hard, you putting it in, you doing all those things, you can play anywhere. I'm talking about any city, any state, you can move around, you do whatever you want to do, including that coach that you don't want to play for. You can play for him. Mm-hmm. Now, my thing is, most coaches don't move their kid because of the next level, especially in youth sports. You know what they do? They try to go up with their kid. I don't agree with that.
I don't.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't agree with that. What did you do on the prior level as a coach that said you warranted a promotion to this next level? Because that's what it is, a promotion. When you go from Pee Wee to JV or JV to varsity, because the responsibilities are different and the expectations are a little higher,
Yes.
right? What made you feel like you can go from being the Pee Wee head coach to the varsity the varsity JV coach because now your son is on JV? What about the JV quarterback coach or running back coach that was already there? Why he got to get moved or be in an uncomfortable situation because of you, because your kid is nice or whatever the case may be? What did you do that warrants you moving up or a promotion?
Listen, I'm with it. So questions was being asked. Basically, I'll use me as an example. I'll use myself. My son was just on 6U and he moved up to 8U. And the question is, yo, you moving up to 8U? You moving up to 8U? Answer was set in stone. Absolutely not. Why? Oh, I mean, your son going up there. There's coaches up there. He's going to go to the coaches. Like, I did just fine. And my dad didn't even coach me. I had different coaches every 2 years. And I'm learning. Each coach instills something different in me. I got more discipline as it got up and got, if I'm there, he's going to look for me every time he turns around, looking for acceptance, everything. No, learn criticism, learn constructive criticism, hear different voices. Don't look for that, because then I feel like I will become basically a crutch for
And
your
that's
athletic career. I will be a crutch. You will be looking for dad. You'll be wanting dad. You'll be looking for me to say, yeah, that's right, that's wrong. No, I want you to get it from someone else. So I would never move up because one, I don't want to always be, I want to be dad too. I don't want to get lost in just being coach dad. Like, I want to be dad. Now when he's playing, I could be on the sideline watching him and being just a dad and enjoying the play and not having to, you did this, you did that, you did it, and losing sight that I'm still dad because coach is taking over. So now I could take that step back with you and I'm just dad. And when we get home, we can work on these things. We could do all that, but learn from those coaches. They there for a reason.
And that's perfectly put. I was actually listening to the a podcast with Cam Newton last week. We was literally just talking about that, like where he gave these coaches free range. Yo, you do you, bro. I'm just here to support my kid. I'm in the background. I'll talk to him when it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is powerful because so many parents don't give you the ability to coach, right? And my other side that I want to talk about for you, like a coach like you, right? Everybody knows that you're a teacher. You're really into the community, like actively, right? You got kids, we got parents of 5-year-olds or 4-year-olds that are just anticipating, waiting to go have their kid to be coached by you. They don't know that in your head, you're thinking, once my son move up, I'm moving up. You were the perfect coach for the 6-year-olds for their introduction to the game to instill love, care, nurturing. Now, that right there is the foundation of the Joker organization that you lay down. So now people stay in the organization and we get to grow those numbers on that 14U level because of your first year, what you did with 6U. So we'll see in a few years, the numbers go up again.
Mm-hmm.
But if you keep moving up, then guess what? The numbers of 6U gonna go down, 8U gonna go up, and then 8U gonna go down when you go to 10U, and because it's about your kid and not about the community. And I do think that coaches should be able to coach their kid. Dads should coach their kids at the high school level after, you go through whatever process you go through and, becoming the best coach that you can be and where you're earned the right to be, coaching, coach at the high school level because we see like a lot of quarterback dads at that level doing great work. You know what I mean? If you earn the right to do that,
for sure. A lot of NFL quarterbacks, dads were their high school coaches, but
absolutely
they coached the team. They didn't coach the kid, and that's where a lot of people lose focus. They start coaching so much focus on the kid and not the team. You got to remember that kid's a part of a team. So you got to make sure you focusing on the team, not just the kid. You can focus on the kid at home.
That's why the coaches, right? Coaches need training too. Coaches need SEL. For y'all that's not familiar with SEL, with social and emotional learning. Coaches need that type of training too, because then it will make for better young people in these on these teams and in these organizations, and it'll be better coaching going on. More kids will be reached, more kids will be understood because we're missing the mark. Because a lot of people are not being reached. And some people say, oh, these kids don't want to hear it or they don't want to. No, you're not reaching them. We're not finding ways. We don't even have the know-how. Some of us are literally coaching because we have time. And I appreciate y'all having time, but I need y'all to go get an understanding of what your impact is and what it means and what your duty is, and understand what cap you wear for your level, for your kids. And we need some social, emotional learning implemented in these youth sports. Like, we need to have that.
I can't wait for everybody to hear the gems that was given in this, because a lot of people, one, on the coach's aspect, need to look in the mirror, include myself. It's things that you said on here that I'm going to take in for myself as far as coaching goes. But coaches, athletes, and parents, like, everything, the bridge needs to be put together with all of us. It's a whole thing. We need to bridge the gap between all the parent, coaches, and player. And right now there's a disconnect with a lot of that, especially where go back to the parents and like telling a lot. So what I deal with is a lot of parents telling me, yeah, my son's your quarterback. Well, let's make sure he can, learn the plays, do that. Like, he never played football before. You can't tell me he's the quarterback. He's going to work to become, yes, the door's open, but you can't tell a person that they're that just because you were that. That's what I was leading it to. A
We
lot
got
of
to stop
people
trying to live through our kids. A lot of people trying to live
stole it right out of my
vicariously
mouth.
through their children. Allow your kid to become their own legend. Allow them to become their own story. Let them write their own story.
A lot of these
Because you
kids,
don't even
some of
tell
these
your
kids don't
kid
even want to
every
play
story you
football.
had. Right.
Some kids don't. I had to have conversations with my kids. Like, I ask my kids a lot, do you want to play football? Because they know I play football. They see football. So, do you want to play football, or do you want to play football because I play football? The second they would have told me, oh, because you, no, that's not what, do you want to play football? I'm not going to force it on you and just live through you, my dreams. No. If you want to be a soccer player, let's go. Come on, let's go. We watching Messi, we watching Ronaldo. We on that. You want to play baseball? Let's go. We watching. That's the thing. Like, a lot of these kids don't even want to be there and don't want to play, but they're forced because their dad said, well, I was the best Joker that I ever played. I was the best Dolphin. I was the best Laker. And that's going to be you. And sometimes that kid don't even want that.
No, that's the wrong motivations to have. But for what my response for you specifically, like, I know that your kids was 6U last year, right? 7U?
Yeah, so my kid was 6U. He on 8U now. Now I have another on 6U.
Okay, so being as though your kids was at that level, I don't really. I'm a poet now. I don't have any children, yo, so I don't have no children. But I'm like a community parent. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But at the same time, I don't believe in giving too many choices to children at such a young age like that. Like at 6 years old, 7 years old, I'm introducing you to everything. I'm not introducing it to you because I want you to become the best football player. I'm introducing it to you because I want you to see what it's like to work together. I want you to understand what it's like to be a part of a team. I want you to get to know people. I want you to get to understand that you can do some hard things. Like you can do hard things. That's probably been the quote of the year. You can do hard things. I want all of the children to know that you can do hard things. So
Yes.
I put
And
them in situations where I know, like, this is gonna be an uncomfortable sport. It's very fun, but it's what kids don't do now is go outside, and this is outside. It's
at
hot
all.
outside. You got equipment on. You gotta run into people. You have to figure out how to make this fun. And that's what I want for the children when it comes to that character development at 6 and 7. Like, I ain't giving you that choice, but we definitely gonna do everything else too. We're gonna do soccer. We're gonna do basketball. We're gonna do shoot. As an adult right now, I'm doing different things. I got one arm that worked fully, and that is I'm using that to play pickleball. Like, so like you try to get into different things, man. And I feel like we should introduce those kids to these things. The same way I just actually posted, hey, I'm relearning myself, right? I'm re-getting to know myself. What do I enjoy? What do I find joy in? And for the kids, that's the same thing you're doing with a 6-year-old kid. I'm doing it at over 30 years old. How can a 6, 7-year-old kid not be trying to get to know themselves, or you as a parent not be trying to get to know your kid and what they like athletically and all the other ways too? But we've been speaking about athletics.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. And I can say that I basically take that route. Like, so I introduce them to everything. So you're going to be introduced to everything. But if you tell me, like if after my son's first year of football, I don't like football. I don't want to play football. Cool. Now what are we gonna do? We're gonna do swimming. You're gonna be active.
You want to know
You're
why?
gonna be active. You said what?
Do you want to know why? If he ever said that, like if he didn't want to do something, do you want to know why before we just
Oh,
all right?
there has to be a reason. There's no I don't like football. We're not leaving on that. Like we're not moving on from that. Like because he told me he didn't like wrestling, and I'm like okay, because I introduced him to wrestling this year and asked him why. Well, one likes and one doesn't, and I'm like why? And his reason was he was getting hit in his eye too much. He felt like he was being choked too much. He wasn't as physical. Okay, cool. So now we're going to be in the garage. We're going to lift some weights. We're going to do more push-ups. We're going to do more physical things because maybe those kids were just working harder than you.
Or
it was your first year. It was some of their fourth, fifth year.
Or confidence. Sometimes it just like you said, you about to go get in the gym with it. You in the garage. Y'all about to do push-ups. You're gonna do all these different things, right? That's gonna raise his confidence. Cause he probably got the skill, but his confidence in this arena is far different from when he on the football field, right? I know what I'm doing on the football field. Now I'm stepping into some space. I'm this little guy now. I have no knowledge, right? I have no confidence in me to do these things here. So, I
I
think that
definitely
sometimes
agree
we
with
just
that.
gotta figure out what will work for that young man or that young girl, young lady to bring out the best in them. And I think that when you raise the level of confidence in our youth, the result that we can get is phenomenal.
Listen, I agree. And I feel like personally, the best way to end this conversation right now is I had this question ready for you. If every parent, coach, and athlete could hear just one message from you today, what would it be? If you had them all sitting in a room, everybody, not just to the athlete, to the parent, to everybody together, what would it be?
Dang, one message that I could send to the parents and the players. Don't take it for granted. Do not take the opportunity to for your kid to see your kid playing and as a kid to go out there and compete, right? Don't take these for granted. Like the time is gonna fly by like this, and you won't be seeing your kid at this such a small age, right? And as a child, I'm looking back now, I'm sitting here. I used to watch you and Jason, you and Jason Sales catching
Mhm.
touchdown passes, and now we 30 some years old, bro. We talking about this, it flies by, right? So
Fast.
don't take these times for granted and really be be a support for not just your kid, but for the entirety of the community. And when we better our community, the result, we're gonna have a lot more NBA players, NFL players, NBA players. We know we're gonna have a lot more firefighters. We're gonna have a lot more mayors, right? We're gonna have a lot more of these things from the character development that takes place in our local youth athletics if we don't take them for granted.
Listen, and I hope y'all really listen to that. My message to the youth would be is to stay focused and don't lose who you are to try to be somebody else. Be true to you. Like Kawan said earlier, a lot of people get on the internet and they compare themselves to this person or that person. Comparison is the thief of joy. Be you, be true to you, and be happy about who you are and work harder. That's all it is just working harder. Don't give up. Don't say, oh, this person got an offer and I don't have one now. Work. It's going to come. If you put the work in, it's going to come. And parents, trust the process.
Yeah, I was just about to have a message to the parents is
Trust the
trust your
process.
journey. Trust y'all journey. Trust y'all own journey. Like literally I've seen it. Like where people got stuff earlier than the next, and then a year later, an older guy is finally turning it up, and now he rated higher than the guy who got it 8 months ago. You know what I mean? So we just gotta be yourself, like you said, be yourself And also trust your journey and do not take this stuff for granted. Do not take opportunity for granted.
Definitely. Yo, I appreciate all that you doing, bro. Like you killing it out there. You big with the kids. You like you said, you don't have kids, but you got a community of kids, man. I've been watching, I've been seeing, and I'm proud of you. And I wish nothing but the best for you moving forward. I know your whole organization is going to grow. Your new brand is going to grow to heights you probably never even seen before, bro. And I'm gonna be rooting there for you since I've been
Thank
rooting for you when you was a Joker quarterback.
Listen, I appreciate it. I thank you for bringing me on the platform and sharing the platform with me. And I appreciate the work that you doing for an organization that we grew up in, and you doing the honest work, man. And I also see you bringing along the other guys as well. So like, I'm thankful for them. When I say the other guys, I mean the other coaches in the community who dedicated their time. So this wasn't an attack on youth coaches. This is just a wake up call for all of us. I'm a youth coach myself in different ways. I just want to make sure that we shed light on these topics and that we work together to bring better for our community.
No doubt, bro. Appreciate you. And until next time, man.
Yes, sir. Your local washed athlete, tap in, man. We got a lot of community events coming up. We definitely going to get some public screenings for all of the people in the community. We want to shed light on that kind of stuff where we're going to be doing public events, a lot of screenings, different running, 5Ks. It might be pickleball activities and a lot of stuff that's going on for health wise in this brand, and also mental health. Tapping with your mental health. We also
Important.
do a lot of
Very
work with
important.
suicide prevention.
Very
Please
important.
get to know the people in your community. Like, we want to definitely help all of y'all.
Hey, I'm here. If you need me, I support you 1,000%, bro.
Appreciate you.
All right.